Okay, so fine art photography through the grant. So does everybody in the family do a bit of arts, or?
I think they're kind of, a lot of people are creative, but they like pursue art more seriously. It's just, if we say, me and my grandmother.
Okay.
Yeah, well, like, a lot of, most of my family is really into like arts and like humanistic
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
culture, and they've always taken me to exhibitions and seeing like the art cities in Italy. But probably like that is creative on like a more daily basis is me and her.
Okay, well, it always helps if there's somebody in the family already working, because then you can always be like, well, she's doing it, so I'm
Yes,
gonna do it as well, and the family can sort of get on board more with it.
definitely.
Because most of the time people are like, well, arts are nice and cool, but it's very, very hard if you're gonna do it, or just do a real job, which is the classic.
No, luckily in my family that was never the case, and they've always
Good.
really encouraged it. I think kind of they also have seen since the start that I was like mainly the only thing that I was doing all the time, and like I could have never done something like scientific, or I even studying, like sitting down like and studying and like working on a laptop for so long. I find it difficult. So it was
Yeah, fair
always
enough. Fair. I was gonna become math and IT. Well, I was gonna become a software engineer. I studied maths and IT in high school, and the last summer holiday in high school, I just had this massive crisis where I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I actually started thinking about my life, long term, doing programming, on the regular, and it just hit me that I have zero. Like, it's not even a little bit. I have zero interest in doing this day to day to day. And that's when I realized, okay, I need to go in a different direction, and that's how acting came about, and stand up and all that stuff. But yeah, it is. If you don't, it can be the best job in the world. If it doesn't give you pleasure, if it just makes you feel empty when you're doing it,
definitely.
then oof.
And it's thinking of doing something every day, because I've always been really scared, even though my family was encouraging me a lot with the creative thing, and they've always kind of pushed me to leave the rest and focus on that. I've had often many times I had like either no like much security on it, like was very insecure about my creativity, or even not very hopeful about being able to work with it, very pessimistic.
Yeah.
And for so many years, like, no, I'm not gonna be able to make any money out of it. Then, when you start to have to work and do other jobs, and you're like, and you do what you can, like you do hospitality, you do all these things, and you're like, actually, is this the option for me if I don't do something creative? It's like, I don't want to do this, I really realizing that I really didn't want to, like you say, realizing what I really didn't want to do.
Yeah, it's this age, this sort of period is finding out what you enjoy and also what you don't enjoy. And I was the other day thinking about how it's very important to be aware of both. Like the best way, to have the full picture also means knowing the stuff you don't want, not just the stuff you
Definitely.
want, because that's just part of the picture. But to like really focus in, really have a precise idea of where you want to go, you need to be aware of the shitty stuff as well. I was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not doing that.
I think is for some extent even more important, because I feel like maybe I could be doing something that is not necessarily my biggest passion, what I love the most, but it's something that I'm okay with, or like I do enjoy, even though I'm not crazy about it. But then I just not want to do something that really makes me feel miserable, and kind of realizing what really makes me feel like unhappy, or like not satisfied with myself. And then it's like, no, I can't do that. And then figuring out all the other things is like, actually, I don't mind if I could do it. Maybe it's not exactly my final goal, but I can still, but really putting on the side what actually makes you feel really like unwell or like unhappy. And
yeah, but I tend to find that a lot of people, even like that's always the trap, was like you fall into something that it's okay, but it's not what you really want, not what you fully want. And you can get sort of comfortable in it, and once you've built a life around it, it can be hard to break out of it, right? But I do find that doing it for like, even doing the stuff that's okay, when it comes to doing it for years and years and maybe a decade, sooner or later people start navigating back to, you know what, I'm just gonna do what I really, really want to do, because it's always there. It's eating away at you of like, I genuinely want to do this, thing that's why I wholeheartedly want to get into. And even if you sort of compromise, you're aware of it, like it's there,
Yeah, definitely. And it kind of, I think, when you compromise, you also kind of, it's difficult, but you need to also keep remembering what is your like actual original path. sometimes compromising things can lead you to maybe like contacts or like
Yeah.
skills, experience that can, you know, add to your own already like to your own existing skills, and it can lead you somewhere. But then you need to be. It's quite tricky because most of people forget their actual path. So if you do it, they're, okay, I have these things on the side, but which will help me either fund my project or like meet more people that might be potential
Yeah.
collaborators or customers, but then also keep in mind what you originally want to do. And you need to have a thing to do that. You need to have be quite organized and have quite like structure in your head of how you are gonna be consistent with the.
Yeah, that comes with the clarity of what you want, and then having, you know, the discipline and having the habits built up of like, no, I'm coming back to this. Sooner or later, it leads all roads lead to Rome. Huh.
Yeah. No, in my case.
I'm sorry. Yeah, exactly. You went away from Rome. I'm sorry. I had to get an Italian joke in there somewhere.